Okay, I'm live. Gotta wait for these folks to come on in. I am very much stuffy and congested, so excuse me for sounding like this. I'm under the weather, but I still wanted to do this to get this versus going. Um, the link is in the chat, so if you guys want to come on and enter into the draft for the Spence and Crawford boxing versus, be my guest. Hop on, let everybody know why they don't want to smoke with you for your guy. I want you guys to get up here and talk your shit, the shit that y'all always talk online. Don't be afraid to come up here and have the same energy. Um, so let me just make sure I'm live on Twitter. Um, let's see, am I live? Right, I'm live. Okay. Yes, Brandon, I have my get shit together. But I shouldn't have to use that today because um, today is just the draft, so nobody should be really acting up today. But on the actual verses, I know everybody acts up. So um, no, I'm not crying. I have my allergies. I'm under the weather, twin. So I sound horrible, and my eyes are probably like mad allergy looking. I don't know. Do I look like I was crying? I haven't been crying though. Yeah, so I'm just waiting for some more people to come in so they could enter into this draft because I got a lot of people entering the verses for Team Spence, so I need some more people to come in for Team Crawford. Um, and I want everybody to come up here and tell everybody why they don't want to smoke with you. And I really want the same energy that you guys have online because let me tell y'all talk a lot of shit on these social media. Um, so yeah, let's wait for some more people to come in. And I hope I don't have to use my gavel today. I should not have to because I'm already gonna let a few people up at a time to talk this shit, but I will use this if I need to. Um, yeah, I know I sound horrible. I can't even hear myself with my headphones in, to be honest. But I had to muster up some energy to do this. Uh, let's see. Let me post the link again. I know I sound horrible, man. I can't even hear myself. So, do I sound okay? Because I can't even hear if I'm hearing like if like in my headphones. Because I guess I don't have other people up here then. Um, yeah. Let's hope some people come on so I can get this draft going. I need some more Team Crawford on here so I could get these things moving. I know I have Ray versus Ty. They were on here before when I first did the verses. They're like the original nemesis. They're like one. They really are for their guy. So that's everybody wanted to see that rematch. So I'm doing that one. So I really need to just match up other people. So come on, join in. And I don't want I realize that a lot of y'all be scared when y'all when it's time to talk y'all shit. Online, you do it. But then when it's time to get up on here and back it up, yeah, very few people like to have the same energy. And this is fresh cherry juice. It might have a little bit of Bacardi in it, but still fresh cherry juice. Um, it's only been 5 minutes. All right. I should be live on Twitter. So I'm trying to get some people to be live to come on. Not it Lego. All right, let's see. I heard the sign. Oh, check me. All right, chat me.
What's up, Mango Mobby?
How you doing? All
All
right,
right,
so
I gotta go back out and come back in. Excuse me, I gotta
okay,
go back out
okay.
and come back in. All right.
See, I already know the checkmate's gonna keep the same energy because he he does what he does online, and then he gets up here and definitely gives the same energy. um, so I know if Polo comes on here, they're gonna probably want to argue about Canelo and stuff. But this is a versus between Spence and Crawford. But I don't want to have to use it tonight. This is I had to get this for the actual verses because let me tell y'all the other verses were a little bit out of control. StreamYard lets you mute people, but it also lets the person unmute themselves. So it's like pointless. Um, I don't know why it lets you mute people if you let the person unmute themselves. So when people are arguing, I try to tame it, but they still have that little button they could do by themselves to get it going again. Um, I went on this page. Let's see. I posted it a little late this today, so hopefully, I posted it on my Instagram and on Twitter. So hopefully, people come in and talk their shit. I know. I think um, all the people that I see on Instagram, they're all Spence fans. I went on Young Bill's boxing page because that's where all the Crawford fans are at. They are on. Oh, let me send the link to Julius. He just hit me up. Hold on. Copy clipboard. Alright. I got you, Julius. Damn, I sound like shit, but I don't look like shit, right? Let me stop. I have to make sure I didn't look like shit, but I damn sure sound like it. Person. And I don't have my glasses on. All right. So hopefully, people from Young Bill's page come over here to enter into the draft because I want to get this verses done like next week. I want to do it like next Tuesday. Um, all right, let's see. Julius.
What's up, Nayka? How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. Hey, Lisa, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
Uh, um, I'm a little bit under the weather. As you can hear, I'm stuffy as hell.
Really?
Yeah, but I had to get this draft going. I need people. I have a lot of Spence fanatics. I'm not gonna call them fanatics. Fans who came and entered into the boxing versus for Bud and Spence team.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't gotten any like that many Bud fans. I did get Bernie, who is like you know uh Crawford's man, like secondhand man. He
Right.
said he'll get up here and debate with people. So if I don't get that many more Crawford people, I'm gonna have Bernie just go at it with all.
Yeah,
But
because
other
I don't know, but I actually like both of them. You know what I'm saying?
okay, but so if you wanted to enter, could
I
you
could I could
debate
do
for
I could do
Crawford?
it, bud. You know what I'm saying? I listen, I'm gonna be honest. I'm picking Spence to win, but I could masquerade and do a bud too because I'm a real fan of his. You get what I'm
Okay,
saying?
yeah.
I'm picking
Hey,
Spence to win the fight, but I'm a true enough Bud fan that I could do one for Bud as well. You know what I'm
all
saying?
right. So this is what I wanted to people to do. So this is how you enter into the draft, the pool, I need you to say why people don't want to smoke with you for debating for Bud. So you gotta get up, you gotta talk your shit, Julia.
Oh well, I mean, to be honest, now
You're
I
a
don't
nice
think
guy.
that
I
too
don't really hear
many.
you talk.
I'm a nice guy, right? But I don't think that too many can get up here and talk boxing with me. So if I start breaking down Bud, you know what I'm saying? Somebody gonna
Okay.
lose regardless, even though I'm picking
Okay.
Spence.
See,
I
I can't
no,
do
Tells
no.
that.
you.
Listen to me. I
I
can
can't
beat
have you.
you. All right. Here goes some junk talking. I can beat you on Bud, or I can beat you on Spence. There you
But
go.
yeah, but see, I need some pure Bud fans. See, I can't have
Yeah,
you say, but I'm going for
I'm a
Spence. Like,
50-50 fan, but I'll put it to you like this. Bud Crawford right now, um, pound for pound, might be the best boxer in the world. I believe that he'll go up there at 154 right now, and he'll put Charlo in a chokehold and knock him out.
Mm.
There you go.
so,
You that confident with that, Jules?
I'm that confident that Bud Crawford would beat Charlo right now.
all right. So,
Wow.
So look, Nayka, you can
okay.
even slash it. Now I'm 1000% confident on that part.
Okay.
He knocks
Okay.
Wow.
Bud Crawford knocks Charlo out, Jamel Charlo tomorrow.
But see, but if next week if I have you debating somebody for Spence, you're gonna have to have you gotta stay on the Crawford thing.
Yeah, I can stay on it. You know what I'm saying? I can stay on it for 10 minutes.
All
Wow,
right,
wow.
so
What we talking
Mike,
about?
hey
We
Mike,
talking
what's
about the
up?
big fish.
Yeah.
We talk. We
Yeah, so what this was supposed to be today,
Yeah.
what
Let
this
me.
is supposed to be is
Wagwan.
Yeah. I'm definitely team Big Fish.
So,
You already know that.
all
Yeah.
right.
No.
So
Hold on. Let me rephrase. Let me rephrase that. I like Bud. Bud is a Hall of Famer. I just
I
think
love
styles
Bud,
make
bro. I
fights.
love Bud.
And
I
so,
really do. I do too. I do.
so
all right, so checkmate.
what?
So since you're
Yeah.
gonna be team Spence,
Yes.
like
I'm gonna keep it. I'm
I
just
need you
gonna.
to try I need you to trash talk. I need you to tell the people why they don't want to smoke with you, debating why you are debating for a Spence. Like let the
Talking
people know
shit.
why they don't want to smoke with you.
Oh.
Talk the
Okay.
shit that you always talk online. I need the same energy. Go ahead.
Well, I've been chilling out lately. Y'all rarely. I don't really be.
I don't want to hear that. Talk the shit that you talk online.
Well, listen. My point is this: the reason why they don't want to smoke because again, I checkmate the lies and propaganda. So our only thing I do is come with facts. Never has anyone ever took anything I said and say, "Oh, you were wrong on this. This fact didn't work out." They will call me a
Facts.
name. They will make excuses, but they will tell me I don't know boxing. They would tell me I had just learned boxing, just started watching boxing yesterday, but they never have ever turned over my facts. So with that, when I come with the truth, and that truth is
And
Earl Spence Jr.
and and Nayka, here goes something
Great,
else.
great,
Big
great,
fish.
Now
great
Nayka,
announcement.
checkmate is my man. But
Yeah.
you know that me and checkmate probably gonna have a debate in regards to Bud and Charlo. More
Charlo.
so than Bud and Spence. But I told you, I can definitely go up and debate whoever and be a Bud fan. You know
Well,
what I'm
see,
saying? For a few.
You my brother, Julius.
You definitely.
I can't. I don't know if I can debate you, man. You know what I mean?
Well,
I don't
hey,
know
So
if
we
I
can
can.
do it
what I'm gonna
respectfully
do
though. We can
is
do
what
it
I'm gonna do is
respectfully.
I'm
Julie,
gonna
we
put
have
the
always
names.
been respectful.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna put the
exactly.
names on an app that does like a bracket selection randomly. So you won't know who you're debating until like the day of because
Yeah,
I'm
and
gonna put
this
the names on there and then it just
Hold
randomly
up.
pick who
and
you're
and,
gonna go
and
against.
And
So you
checkmate,
saying
I'm
I?
gonna be I'm
Yeah.
gonna be honest though, checkmate. I'm sort of like you. Like everything I debate, I gotta feel it 1,000,000%. But it's hard to feel it because not because I don't think Bud is great. I just think it's a bad matchup. I don't think he ain't.
Yeah.
He's great. He's great. It's just a kind of
I,
a bad matchup.
So
I,
Mike,
I,
Styles make fight.
who are you team of?
Oh,
Team
I'm
I'm
Team Spence, but
co-
I'll
co-
be Team Bud if you need me. If you
me.
need some Bud people to
do,
Yeah,
step
I do.
in,
I do need somebody to
yeah,
step
do I
in.
I
have to
can do it
go?
to step in.
Okay.
Do I have to go grab my Reaper T-shirt? You know who I'm team of. You know it's the big fish.
Oh
You
God, see,
know
I have so many Spence. See, that's what I mean. I have so many.
Okay, but one second, NYC, before you get out, because I want you to get rolling. I don't want to interrupt you, my brother. But no, I want Polo. I want Polo. I want him. Listen, this dude is always antagonizing.
Get out of here.
Yeah, so that's all I'm saying. So I know you saying.
Yeah,
listen, I know you're doing bracket. Listen, I know you're doing drafts and all of that. But I'm just saying, I want Polo because the venom is real. Because I just want to smash him so he can just walk away with his tail between his legs.
But you know what? You know what, Checkmate? Yeah. You only want to debate Polo for like another.
No,
subject,
Spence Crawford. Spence Crawford. Just Spence Crawford. We're just going to do Spence Crawford.
What I think y'all going back and forth on was Canelo. So I don't want to pin y'all against each other, and then y'all start arguing about Canelo.
We won't do the Canelo. We won't do the Canelo. I'm gonna honor you. I know you will. I'm gonna honor you.
I can't wait till the fight. You know, and listen, Bud is a bad motherfucker. Like I ain't one of them people that sit up here and act like Bud not a beast, man. I predicted Bud to knock out Sean Porter, and Bud is a bad motherfucker. And of course he got a chance to beat Earl.
Here go one.
I just think Earl is different. I think Earl is different.
And let me ask this. This is a question for Jamel. So Jamel is Team Thurman. Is that with the ponytail?
I think he has ponytail.
Let me ask y'all. Let me like seriously. Like what kind of shot would you give Thurman against like Earl or Bud? What kind of shot would you give him?
I'm gonna tell you this. Thurman in 2014, 2015 had a 40-45% chance against those guys. But the Thurman now, I mean, and it ain't just because he don't take body shots well. It's just because I just don't see the same hunger. I'm gonna be honest. I think Keith Thurman fighting for the money right now.
He is, of course.
See, Jamel said once he cut his hair, it was over.
But if he fighting for the money, why he won't fight the young boy from Philly? Why he don't give Boots a shot?
Well, look, he's trying to continue fighting, brother. He's trying to continue fighting. If these guys can make money, even I don't care if it's Canelo, Tyson Fury, all those guys, if they can make 10, 15 million fighting someone that they know they're not going to bed at night thinking, oh man, this guy hit me, I don't know what I'm gonna do. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna do it. So Keith Thurman the same way. He definitely look at how he ducked Earl Spence. I gotta be honest, the man ducked Earl Spence for years. Now
I was a Thurman fan, bro. Especially you better not duck me, son. I'm like, okay,
Chris, I used to love it. Is this 201, Chris? 201, Chris. Do you want to get up here and enter into the draft to debate next week for the Spence and Crawford versus? Or are you just saying that you're Team Crawford? Yeah, I need some more.
KO's for life. Exactly, Jamel.
Yeah,
he definitely is. I think he want to fight Miguel Burchett next too, Jamel.
Really?
No, it's a joke. I'm just saying, Keith Thurman just ain't trying to fight nobody, bro.
Burchett is damaged now.
No, I only said his name because Keith Thurman is trying to take as the least amount of punishment to make his money now. You know what I'm saying?
Who is Team Crawford in the chat? I need more Crawford.
We love Bud. Hold up. Just not over Earl. That's all.
Let me get Polo in here. Hold up. Let me get Polo in
here. Get Polo. Polo, Pablo, all them guys I be seeing up there. Where Ronnie Boy Fresh?
This will be for next
week. He loved Bud. That's a fact.
Where Ronnie Boy?
Yeah, I asked him to come on here. If he could, but he might be able to do next week. So I know he is Team Crawford, so he would definitely take on somebody.
Yeah, definitely. He'll battle everybody.
Yeah. And then Bernie said
I
he
would.
And to be honest, I could get away with Ty, Bernie, and Ron. Those
okay.
I just don't get why people argue against Earl. Earl said, "I'm gonna clean up this side of the street," which he did. It took a little time because of the accident, because of the eye.
That was
But
self-inflicted.
let's
The
not do that,
accident
y'all.
was
Don't
self.
let's not do that.
The accident was self-inflicted. He was drinking and driving.
Yeah,
I
That's
tell you what,
self-inflicted.
I
That was
will say
self-inflicted.
this.
That was
That
self-inflicted.
that was your best shot. Earl focused now. Earl focused now.
I'm just saying.
So he focused now.
I'm
He back.
gonna save all them points in
Man,
case
back.
I'm
Like,
I'm in there.
Man, he
But
back.
I can't wait to the press conference because it's gonna be good. It's gonna be people talking about folks drinking, folks doing drugs.
Oh,
They're
it's gonna
gonna
be
talk
nasty.
about
but
It's gonna be
Bud.
nasty.
who does
Hold-
drugs? Who
No,
does
no, no,
drugs?
no, 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 no.
No,
I'm
but
just saying.
who's gonna say
It's gonna
that?
be
Because
nasty.
No, I think Bud
Bo
gonna be
Mac,
talking that.
Bo Mac,
Bo
Bo Mac
Mac,
gonna be talking shit.
and look, and then they're gonna talk about Bud, baby mama fighting. You know what I'm saying at Dollar General. So it's gonna get good. It's gonna be good,
taking it
man.
way back to
I
Yeah,
will
they're
say
gonna
this,
take it
though.
way back. It's gonna be good.
I will say this: no matter how much they say, like Bud say, "I'm gonna fuck you up," and no matter how Earl say, "I'm gonna fuck," I think they both respect each other to the fullest.
Definitely.
Like for real. Like I feel like both of the fighters fully respect each other. So
I agree.
the trainers can talk all the shit they want. But
I think the fans are more hyped up against each other than the fighters are because
facts.
here's another thing. Those guys gonna make $25-30 million a piece. And also when did you see, and I know like everybody else, when they were together a couple years back at that fight,
That shit was cool.
you could just tell, man, that them guys just want to fight each other and they got respect for one another. And they know
Facts.
how good each other is.
I be dying every time Bud say, "You got it now. Call me." I like that part.
Yeah.
I like that part. When Bud be like, "Call me." I love that part, man.
Yep.
But
I think I know where I have to go to scout for the Crawford fans. So I'm,
Twitter.
No, not Twitter because I posted it on Twitter. I haven't get
Facebook?
that many. Facebook, and then I saw another boxing page on here on YouTube that has.
But my thing is this though,
Crawford
Nayka,
City over there.
Nayka, but I be seeing a lot of them on Twitter, like a lot of them. I'm telling you,
But I need the ones who have the energy to come on here and debate it.
So
like,
they just like typing.
A lot of people have like to be type,
yeah.
Type.
Yeah.
Earl a dog, man. Earl different.
I saw that twin Munoz. That was crazy, man. People put up there a food box wreck with Bo Mac, and it was like Burger King, McDonald's.
Listen, man. People talk all that shit to Bo Mac and knock most of these motherfuckers out, man. Bo Mac, I better leave that motherfucker alone.
I mean, he was a heavyweight boxer. He was a heavyweight fighter.
Bo Mac know what the fuck he doing.
See, because what I really wanted
was,
what I was trying to do today is I was trying to get people to come up here and be like, I'm a Bud fan, and this is why you don't want to smoke with me. Your guys this, your guys that, and you don't want this work.
Hey, say that about Canelo.
As a Bud fan, Nayka.
I'm not in this.
But let me ask you.
I'm just so organized.
Before it, why do you favor? And you're a fair person. Why do you favor Bud over Earl? Why?
I can't enter myself in this.
She's trying to be impartial.
I have to be neutral.
This is how she does, right?
I have to be.
She got that cute smile. She'll be impartial until you say something she don't like.
Well, no, that's why I'm not a judge. That's why I'm not a judge. That's why I'm not a judge.
Hey, look, checkmate, Nayka. Mike, I'm gonna tell y'all something. I'm gonna give away a little bit of what I would say if I was Earl Spence next week, because this is what we are figuring out. A lot of people, Nayka, that's coming up, with the exception of guys like Ronnie Boy Fresh. Okay, I'm not gonna put him in this category, but a lot of those guys like both Earl and Bud, but they are dislikers of Al Heyman. So you have a hard time with these guys coming up here debating Bud against Earl, but they would come up here in droves if you said Canelo. Like if you held a Canelo versus whoever, you're going to have 100 people up here ready to, ride or die with Canelo. I think it's Al Heyman hate.
I can really go with just Ty, Ron Boy Fresh, and Bernie.
Well, you got one boy, right?
Well, listen, this is the thing here. Like for me, this is the thing. I am a fan of both. Like I said, I have nothing against Bud. It's just styles make fights, and I have the person that I'm going to put money on, you know, and it's Earl. It's not going to take it. It's not going to make me like Bud any less. I just think
Bernie
I'm
just
not going to give up.
unfair, man. Bernie don't be fair with.
I don't even know Bernie.
Bernie,
I don't think I know
Bernie is Bud's guy, so he's the best person
Oh.
to come
But
here and debate with
look,
somebody.
but
Because
look,
not for
but
nothing,
Jay,
a lot of
but
Spence
Jay,
fans are very disrespectful.
but
You know,
but let's be real.
and
like,
I want to see if they have that same energy when it comes to.
You know who would be good? Get Bud's sister. I like her. I like Bud's sister.
Letitia.
I don't know if she
yeah.
would come up.
I like her.
I asked Bernie to see if she could do it.
Hey, and you know
I think
something?
she's fair.
Yesterday, matter of fact, she responded to me yesterday on Twitter, Letitia Crawford, in regards to the Bob Arum comments. Because Bob Arum said that Bud Crawford mentally is not he's mentally not focused, and you know what I'm saying, and he probably won't win because his mind ain't right. And I went up there and said, you know what this is? This ain't nothing but hate. You know what I'm saying? The guy
if I could get Letitia,
Boxiana, get her.
Boxiana would be the perfect person to put
Hey, where's Cat though? Where your girl Cat? I know she Team Crawford.
Yeah, but since she works the night shift, I believe. That's why she doesn't do that the Women Crush Wednesdays and stuff, because she works like the night shift. So yeah, she's probably on social media anymore.
I guess you're right.
I try to be fair with it, right? Like,
Boxiana,
of course, I'm going with Earl, but I will. Man, Bob was being salty as hell, man. Like Crawford is. If Crawford is one thing, he's focused. He's always in the gym. He's gonna be ready. It's just I think Earl gonna beat his ass because I think Earl's that guy. You know, that's why
I need these Crawford fans to come up here and
where they at?
and tell you why he's not gonna.
One thing Crawford is he focused.
Really
focus, man.
Go to Lefty's next live, whatever his the next Tech and Talk. And there's plenty of Bud fans in there.
I've seen a lot of Crawford fans that talked shit on somebody else's live on YouTube. So I went over there and told them that I was doing this. So hopefully they'll like enter.
Let me ask y'all this: the other, and this is under the banner of Big Fish and Team Bud over there, which I think of K-Sean versus Frank Martin. All right,
let me say this.
In the future.
Me and Checkmate talked about this today. And I agree with a lot what Checkmate said, and I'm going to say this. To me, I think Keyshawn Davis is probably 2 fights away from being able from taking the belt away from Devin Haney.
Wow.
And Frank Martin is a terrible matchup. And Frank Martin is one of those guys where he's gonna get something that always happened to black fighters like Stevie Johnston, even Pernell Whitaker, Shambe Mitchell, southpaws that are slick are very rarely, even from black fighters, get fights. So Frank Martin is gonna be one of those guys. But I feel Keyshawn Davis is just a couple fights away because, man, look. I like Devin Haney, but like Shakur and Keyshawn and those guys has a little different rhythm about themselves, man. They got a little like Devin is athletic, you know what I'm saying, to a degree, but those guys mix the athleticism and skills a little better to me. And they also is more relaxed. Look at how they fight. Look at Keyshawn. Look at Shakur. They real relaxed when they fighting. And Devin can fight, and I'm always gonna root for the brother. But you ask me a question, I'm gonna keep it 1,000 on it.
Yeah,
but you see, look,
I
just added Mike onto the chat, and
okay,
and guess what? Tell him who you're a fan of, Mike.
You know what? I've gone back and forth, but of course I'm been Team Spence because that's just what I've been a fan of.
There you go.
I can still don't make an argument for Crawford winning.
Me too.
Of course,
that's a bad matchup.
And I'll tell you, Crawford will win if he does this one thing. If he doesn't get emotional, if he just boxes and does him, he'll be just fine. But I know
That
once
ain't
Earl
gonna
hits
happen.
him,
He too much.
yeah. Everybody knows
Yeah.
it. I know once Earl hits him, he's gonna get mad and he's gonna get uncharacteristic. And we see what happens when he does. It's just now he's gonna get hit with the guy with power. I'm 8-9 rounds. This is done. Earl's doing his thing though.
Whole different ball game.
You know,
This is
maybe
how I
I'm
see it
wrong.
going.
Nebraska to find these fans because they ain't nowhere. You got to look on the rocks.
No, there are
Ty
fans.
and Ronnie are the only brave ones out there.
This is the part,
No,
Sean
there
Paul.
are fans. There are fans.
Man, it's strap season. We all know what time
Strap
it is.
I have to
That's a fact.
promote it more on
See, Crawford's
Instagram,
best
maybe,
chance was 3 years
and
ago.
Facebook.
Now Spence is super focused. Like it's a done deal. Like
But this
I'm
is
ready
how I
for
see it.
154.
Listen,
This
I'm
is how I
going to
see it
Jamaica
going though. I
tomorrow.
see it.
I'm
I
going to Jamaica tomorrow, and I'm making sure I spread the Earl is the baddest motherfucker from Jamaica ever.
Hold on.
Spreading the
Now,
word.
now, hold.
This is
Mike, no, Mike.
We get loose.
Mike,
We
Mike,
get
don't
loose.
do that.
We get-
Mike, don't do that.
What
First
you
of all,
mean?
First of all, Earl ain't from Jamaica. We gotta give respect to Mike McCallum. Give respect to Mike McCallum, brother. Come on now.
When you hear this, you gotta be quiet, okay? That's what this is, okay? When you hear this, shut it up, all right? Okay. See, this is now have become a Spence panel.
Yeah, we're
All of y'all
good.
up here are Spence fans.
Well, Nayka, I know you don't want to talk about it, but tell me, what do you see now? I know you thought TC for sure, a few years ago, but after this fight with Spence, you still feel the same way?
Yeah, I do.
No percentages have changed. You're like, no, still dominant fashion.
Yes.
Hey, man, for you, but are you sticking to your guns because some people on Twitter
Yeah.
are you just like
No.
Oh.
I believe that. I believe that.
I know them PBC guys be getting under your skin sometimes.
I
So.
know that you
Look
That's
at
what I
it.
think. They don't get up under my skin. I just don't have patience for like fuck shit,
Fair enough.
Listen,
People-
this is how I see it going on. Listen, you know how when Spence fought Sean Porter, Spence did it emotionally. He didn't do the perfect game plan. He wanted to say, "I'm going to be a dog. I'm going to beat you at your own game," type of thing. It was personal. He said, "Oh, you want a dog? I'm out dog you." You know what I mean? He was, it was kind of like, in that vein. He didn't fight the his game. He beat Porter at his own game, and I think this is what Bud is going to do. I think Bud is going to come into this situation personal, okay, and he's going to try to outspend Spence, and this is how he's going to lose. I'm not going to give y'all my game plan until we do the versus thing.
Okay.
But
this is me. All right. I wanted to make an announcement. Because the Boxing Voice is chimed in right here. I just want to let everybody know
Salute.
I'm gonna be on their channel this weekend to do like the commentary for the Bivol and Canelo fight. So you guys
Okay.
to that. And then I hope maybe the Boxing Voice has some Crawford fans who want to enter into the weekend.
oh, you going to
Crawford.
Vegas?
No, we're gonna be in San Diego.
Okay.
And then y'all see why we'll be in San Diego.
That's Canelo home right there.
Well, y'all see why we'll be in San Diego, but yeah, catch us this weekend.
Fire.
Yeah, but this is definitely a Spence panel. Oh my god, like I
So-
can't get
so
any
how-
Crawford
How do
fans
y'all
here.
feel about Bivol chances this weekend?
I think he's going to win personally.
Well, my thing is this right here, man. Y'all know Breadman, right? Stephen
Yeah,
Evans.
yeah. He know
Okay.
his shit. He know his
Yeah,
shit.
okay. Well, he said something to me that just didn't make sense. So he said that Canelo been red hot. And the time to catch a fighter is when they red hot. I'm like, what? So my thing is this right here. If Canelo's so red hot, then he gonna run through Bivol. But like I said to him, if Canelo struggles this weekend, it's not going to be because he got old. It's going to be because Bivol is good. Bivol is better than BJ Saunders, Caleb Smith, Caleb Plant, Yurdam, and Danny Jacobs. Those are average fighters. Bivol looks a little above average. So it should be a closer fight. I'm going to be honest. I don't know who's going to win.
Well, I rewatched his Joe Smith fight. You know what I mean? So I rewatched a couple of his fights, and see, my whole thing is this:
I don't know why y'all
Bivol
over
is kind
here
of vanilla.
disrespecting
You know,
Canelo.
he's not.
Hold up. Did I just hold on, Nayka?
Wait.
Did I disrespect anyone with my
I'm just saying.
comment?
I'm
All I
just-
said
saying.
was,
I don't
if
know why
it
y'all
be a
acting like-
close fight, it's going to be because Bivol is a good fighter. I said it's not going to be because Canelo slipped. That's what I said. So I'm giving respect to everybody.
This is the thing about Bivol. He's never going to. He's not He's never going to be that type of fighter that's electric, but he's steady. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? He's not a flashy fighter, but his punches are really straight. He's very technical. He doesn't throw a lot of wide punches, and he moves in and out real quick for his size. So when you think about that, compare that to Canelo's cement feet. That's just, to me, I give the benefit to Bivol. Think about how
feet, but I feel like he has cement fists.
Well, listen. Well, yeah. Well, listen. Well, he
has cement fists.
Well, let me listen. Well, he kind of plies himself in and out. You know what I mean? He kind of stalks people now. Canelo does not have the best footwork ever at all.
You know what? Before I thought this was going to be a good match. I really thought it was going to be a good match. But now seeing the presser, seeing this fool shake hands, this buddy stuff, man, I don't think you can come into a fight like that. Like you got to be a dog to beat Canelo. You got to like Triple G was. He was like, man, like I don't care who you are, I'm gonna dog walk you.
They on this Canelo.
I even heard Bivol say
too, but after seeing that, I was like, man,
yeah, I heard Bivol say, "Yay, Canelo." Yeah, Bivol said, "Yay, Canelo."
Yeah, he said that shit. Like,
he said that.
Yeah, look.
But he also said he also said Canelo was his enemy,
bro. Like, I'm starting to wonder.
Let me tell y'all. Let me tell y'all, yo. Like, listen, I would love to say, trust me, I would love to say Jamal Charlo has a chance against Canelo. I'm sorry, he doesn't. I would love to say Demetrius Andre has a chance against Canelo. Nah, I'm sorry, he doesn't. Canelo's a bad motherfucker. We just gotta give him his credit, man.
Hold up a second. You don't think that Boo Boo got a chance?
Billy Joe Saunders was winning.
Bro,
Caleb Plant was winning.
Hold up a second.
GGG was winning.
I said before.
You see a different Canelo than I see, brother.
Well, here's the thing.
Canelo caved in Billy Saunders' face.
Well, here's the thing, Mike.
Down Caleb Plant.
I said 2 years ago, I felt Canelo would stop Boo Boo in a fight where he was behind. I said he would be behind, and he would catch Boo Boo late in that fight and stop him. But to say that those guys have no chance, this is not as great as Canelo is in this era. We're not talking about Roy Jones. Everybody in this era can win on a night and lose on a night. That's Charlo, that's Boo Boo, that's Canelo, that's Earl Spence, that's Bud Crawford. All these guys, look, if you get the right matchup, look, man, who was the guy? What's Green? They call him the Mean Machine, right?
Oh, Green Machine? Yeah.
Nobody thought the Green Machine was the Mean Machine, Green Machine was gonna come in there and hit Crawford on the chin and almost slap him.
But would you say this? It's a difference between clipping somebody and actually beating them.
But here's the thing.
Canelo.
Let me say this, bro. I have been there in the arena and seen Jose Cotto hurt Canelo. Any fighter that lives on this earth, unless he comes from another orbit, can get hurt or knocked out. It can happen. And that's what I'm telling you is that I see Canelo as being the top 168 pounder, but to say no one can be competitive, to me, what you're doing is you setting yourself up for a guy looking good in a fight, and then people say, well, Canelo just don't have it. I'm just saying, if a guy be competitive against Canelo, it's going to be because maybe he is that good. It ain't because all this Canelo, this, that, you're setting yourself up for Canelo to not dominate a guy, and then people are gonna be like, well, Canelo, he's slipping.
Now they're always gonna talk smack about Canelo. It don't matter.
Of course anybody could lose, but I'm just saying right now Canelo is in his bag. It's highly unlikely that he's going to lose, bro.
But what type of competition is what I say about everything?
Bivol going to have to fight like he did in 2017. He's going to have to knock him out. Like this Bivol that goes dominant 12 rounds, that's not going to cut it, especially against Canelo.
Like for example, Ugas probably would have put up a tremendous fight against anybody else, but he went up against the big fish. He put up a good effort.
But
Earl different. Canelo is different, bro. They different, man.
And here's another thing. Canelo was great years ago, but I saw Lara when Lara was in his absolute prime. Him and Canelo went even.
Yep, and everybody was ducking Lara. Don't forget
Austin Trout when he was in his prime. Him and Canelo went even. So when Triple G was in his prime, they went even. So that's three different people, not named Floyd Mayweather. That was even.
I think Triple G better leave it alone now. Like,
no. Triple G should leave it alone.
But listen, Mike, Old Cove was winning that fight. Okay, if Old Cove was beating Canelo just with a jab, and thinking when he was doing the jab, it was a light jab. I didn't see him throw any meaningful power shots to try to knock Canelo out. All he was doing is flipping jabs. And he said when he took the fight, he only took it for the money. He said his body was still messed up, and he just knew he was going to lose. So think about this.
We're not going to disrespect overlap power, bro. We're not.
No. Listen, no. We're not disrespecting his power. He just didn't throw any power shots, is what I'm saying. He was jabbing the entire time. So my point is this: if Old Cole was able to do that to Canelo, what do you think a young, spry Bivol was going to be able to do? So when you guys say he can't do this, he can't do that, you don't think Charlo got a chance? You don't think Benavidez got a chance? You don't think Andre got a chance? I see all of these guys have a chance. If Lara had a chance,
they're different than Lara. Like I said, Lara was ducked, but. Like the Kovalev stuff, like that was part of Canelo's game plan. Like he was going to lose rounds. Canelo knew what he was doing. Same thing
was losing a lot of rounds.
Knew what was going to happen.
Okay.
So when everybody says stuff worked, this and that, I'm like, man, when the guy's out on the mattress, nothing really mattered. Nothing really worked. He was knocked out. It was all part of the plan.
Okay. Well, I think Bivol. I think Bivol is first of all, he's naturally bigger, naturally stronger. He's not Plant. Plant was just so. I wanted to shake. I wanted to throw something at the TV at Plant because to me he gave him too much respect. You know what I mean? And he gave him way too much respect, and he wasn't being aggressive enough. And I think
hold on a second, checkmate. Nayka, I want you to do something. The next person that bring up Caleb Plant, I want you to throw him off the set. Caleb Plant will never be allowed in a boxing ring. The man in the ring saying, "Hi, Canelo. How do I look? Do I look good? Come on, man. You don't never need to be in a boxing ring again."
That's my point.
It
was this.
I got a question for everybody, real quick.
Canelo broke him down.
I got a real question. Who has Crawford fought anywhere near Spence talent? Like
nobody.
And since when? When's the longest that you can say? Here's the next guy that had that kind of talent.
Who was near Crawford's talent?
That's a good one too. You got me right there.
He fought a prime Kell Brook. He fought the.
Oh yeah, Kell Brook. I would say Kell Brook.
He fought a prime
Kell Brook is a good one.
Come on now.
Kell Brook is not on.
Early on, Kell Brook was
Kell Brook was a legit champion. There's certain people you say, like meh. No, Kell Brook was a legit champion.
I would say
that he on Crawford's level.
And Crawford's level, probably best opponent Crawford ever be is maybe Postol. That's it.
Mike, you got yourself muted, Mike.
My bad, yeah. I really feel like this fight is gonna be Hagler Hearns. To be honest,
you talking about?
I really feel like
Spence is Hagler. Spence is Hagler. Yeah.
The
Spence is
best fights are
having.
gonna happen in the crowd. Because
Nayka,
the Spence fans and the Crawford fans are gonna be fighting in the
hey,
crowd.
hey,
Everybody's
but
gonna be
Nayka,
drinking, they're gonna be emotional.
Nayka, I gotta say this though, and I gotta pull the race card on this fight. As a Black American man, I'm super proud right now for this fight and this moment
Facts.
because Nayka, not only this is that for so many years, guys like Bob Arum, Eddie Hearn, we could go on and on. Kathy Duva, all these people would sit around and say that black fighters couldn't sell. And we
Facts.
have seen Earl Spence get 40,000, 50,000 in Dallas. We've seen Bud Crawford many times get 20,000 in Omaha, Nebraska, a football place. Ain't nothing
Facts.
there but corn. If you ever been there, ain't nothing in Nebraska but corn. And this man brought 20,000 people. And when they get together that night, something that Checkmate had talked about, this is the biggest fight. First of all, it's the biggest fight since 2015 when Mayweather and Pacquiao fought. It's the biggest Black American fight against each other since Hagler and Leonard. This the biggest fight for two black guys born in
Facts.
America since 1987.
Facts.
Before 90% of the people that's gonna be at that fight probably was born. So
Let,
man,
let
I'm
me ask y'all
excited,
though,
bro.
right? Let me ask y'all, and
Yeah.
I don't blame the fighters because if it wasn't for all the streaming bullshit, I think they would easily surpass it. But with all this streaming and stealing that's going on, do you think that they reach 1 million buys? Do you
Oh,
think
yeah.
that
Yes,
fight reach?
but
Close,
I
at least
would do this
750.
for that fight. I wouldn't even put it on pay-per-view. I would put this fight
It gotta
like
be
they do the
pay-per-view,
Super
bro.
Bowl. Hey, look, that's because boxing don't like to think outside the box. But the reason that the Super Bowl is not on pay-per-view is because of advertisement.
True.
Spence and Crawford they could do way more money than they could do on pay-per-view. By now, the back end money would be different, but they could get so much money for advertisement. It'll cost $1 million an advertisement. Put it on Fox. You get what I'm saying? And before you know it, you could generate hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. But you got to think outside the box.
I don't know
And
about
you
hundreds
you
of
can't
millions, but that's
steal
not
a
a bad
fight.
idea.
Huh?
But they already milk the advertisers as it is, and they get to milk the pay-per-view. So it's kind of like, why would you only milk one?
How much
Yeah,
I
I
think
mean,
this? How much I think this pay-per-view should be?
Oh,
oh,
$70. Around
I,
there.
I,
yeah.
I'll pay 150.
Well,
I'll pay
of course, me.
I ain't say how
150.
much it. I said how much should it be? 'Cause anybody
It
trying
should
to
be
have that kind of
70
money.
$69.99, $79.99.
So
It,
70,
it
80.
don't matter. For me, like the last big, I watched both Wilder Fury. Well, no, I watched two of Wilder Fury fights in movie theaters. I watched Tank last two fights in movie theaters. So this is, the movie theaters were packed. So that was such an incredible atmosphere, and it was like with me with four other people, and it was just packed and screaming, standing up. So for me, this is where I want to watch that experience. If I'm not in
Nice.
Vegas, if they don't have it at the Raiders Stadium, because I was
I,
telling Julius, I think they should have it at the Raiders
They're
Stadium.
not going to
Yeah,
have
you
it.
said that.
MGM's not going to let this fight
I,
go.
I, I understand,
Yeah.
but my thing is they doing all these stadium things, right? Raven Stadium, Raider Stadium is the biggest venue in Vegas, and if they did that, it would usher in, and it would, or whatever the case may be. But my point is this: this is the biggest welterweight fight. Exclude Floyd Pacquiao, which was past his prime, but it's still an excellent fight. But exclude that, but it goes all the way back to Sugar Ray Leonard and Thomas Hearns. This is
look,
our generation.
1981.
Right.
look,
This
y'all.
is this
They
generation of Sugar Ray Leonard Hearns. You can't miss this.
I agree.
So where are all the Crawford fans, man? I need y'all to
I've been
enter
looking
into
under
this
rocks.
Verzuz because
I
I have
mean,
a plethora of Spence fans to enter into this
man,
boxing
I'm
Verzuz.
almost feeling so bad that I might dispute, Crawford
No,
for
but
them.
see, I don't want no people
Not,
that's gonna be 50. They could
but
do 50-50. I want like
but
the real Spence
but
and
Nayka,
real Spence and the real Crawford fans.
I told you, Nayka, that a lot of the fans like both guys, it's more the
Right.
Al Heyman hate. If you go into who hates Al Heyman and rooting for Crawford, you'll get it. It'll get flooded with people. It's the
So wait,
Al
I
Heyman
have
effect.
the Boom Man. Are you a Crawford fan? Because I want to. There's a versus. What I do. I don't know. This is my first time seeing you here. So next week,
Man.
it debating against a Spence fan in regards to this fight. So if you are a Crawford fan, I would like for you to come up here if you could to like tell everybody why they don't want to smoke with you. You know.
They don't want that smoke. Like they just don't want that smoke.
Yeah, so Mike, so since you up here, you are a Spence fan. Tell the people why they don't want to smoke with you.
Oh, you know what? It's because I just go straight off facts of things that happen. There's no imaginary scenarios with me. It's just straight facts. You know,
Are you saying the Crawford fans come up with imaginary scenarios?
I would say a lot of boxing fans come up with imaginary scenarios when it comes to their favorite fighter. I try to stay as much as biased, but definitely Spence, Canelo, Fulton. I'm very biased towards those fighters because they're some of my favorite fighters. You know, so Haney's becoming one of my favorite fighters. I've been watching a lot more fights with him.
Well, you heard what I said about Haney earlier. Now, I said that Keyshawn Davis was 2 fights away from taking his belts.
Heck no. Keyshawn Davis is really going 8 rounds. I love the talent and I love where he's at, but he might be ready for a gatekeeper. He needs to go 12 rounds first.
Hey, but you know something?
Listen, Keyshawn only had 5 fights, though, Julius. That's what I was saying.
You know something?
And he just had his first. Wait, let me get this off.
Go ahead.
He just had his first 8-round fight. His talent is there. Can't deny that. But it's much more that goes with that. You gotta, once you start living that boxing lifestyle, some like Tio, you don't want him to fall off the rails like Tio. All of a sudden he start getting this and then living the lifestyle, and all of a sudden he gets unfocused and loses discipline. So that's why I'm saying this is why the prospect stage is needed. It's not necessarily a talent, because talent separates itself right away. You know talent when you see talent, but it's the other things that come into factor.
I agree with you. But I said 2 fights away. And if you want to make it 3,
that'll be 7 fight. That'll be 7 fight.
That'll be his 8 fight.
He's got to be.
If he get 2 or 3, it'll be 7 or 8. But let me tell y'all about the rounds part that you were saying, right? So, how many times it's happened where guys have been 19 and 20 years old and won titles, right? Keyshawn Davis is 23. That's number 1. Number 2, the guy has fought at the international level for 6 or 7 years. Thirdly, we're talking about the lower weight classes, 135. I didn't say welterweight and I didn't say junior middleweight, where I wouldn't want a guy with 5 fights fighting Earl Spence or Bud Crawford. But I'm telling you, as much as I like Devin Haney, this is a kid that turned pro at 16, never fought on the high-end amateur status. He only fought in the juniors. So you telling me that Keyshawn Davis in 2 fights isn't ready to go up to the 12-round limit? And here's another thing about going 12 rounds. 12 rounds is awesome if you go 12 rounds.
Yeah. Somebody eventually is going to be on their bike, Julius. Someone's going to be on
I'm
their
just
bike.
saying, I've seen guys win world titles in their 5th and 6th and 7th fight against good fighters.
They're Eastern Europeans, right? They're Eastern Europeans.
Black fighters did it before the Eastern Europeans. Y'all remember Muhammad Ali lost his belt to Leon Spinks in his Leon Spinks 5th fight.
But look how far you have to go back, though. But look how far you have to go back for that. When we talk about the Eastern Europeans, who have they been fighting? When Bivol and all of them won their belts, you don't even know who they beat. You know what I mean?
Well, Mayweather.
Let me get this off. They were giving a free ride, right? So with Keyshawn, the thing about it, the talent is there, but you got to get your breathing ready. You got to get everything ready to be mentally strong. Look what happened to T.O.
That's T.O.
What happened to T.O.
Look, Floyd Mayweather was only a pro. Floyd Mayweather was only a pro a year and a half.
Keyshawn ain't Floyd, bro.
Look who you're talking
about. No. The reason I say that is people at that particular time in 1998, I was around. That's how old I am. They were saying the exact same things about Mayweather. He wasn't ready for Genaro Hernandez. He had never fought anybody past 6 or 8 rounds. His best fight was a guy named Tony Pep. So they said this guy can't go in and do anything. Fernando Vargas was the same guy too. Won a world title in a year and a half. Keyshawn Davis, if you give him 3 more fights, he would be a year and a half into his pro career. He just may have less fights, but here's the thing. Mayweather and them guys might have had 5 or 6 fights where they knocked guys out within 1 round, 2 rounds. They never got a chance against Caesar.
So we have DT3, the Boom Man. He says that he's a Crawford fan. So I would like for him to explain
DT,
to the people.
give it to us. Give it to us. Tell us why
Yeah,
we're
give
crazy.
it. Talk your shit and let everybody know why they don't want to smoke with you.
What's good? What to do with the folk? What's up, Queen Nayka? What's going on with the folk? What's up with the panel? Blessed. I mean, I just wanted to hear the gripes against Crawford and everybody saying how who is Crawford fought and all that stuff, and I hear all that stuff, but I'm a person that looks at real accolades, and Crawford is the more accomplished boxer in boxing. We're not looking at one weight class and determining a fighter based on what he does in one weight class. We're looking at boxing. We talking boxing, fellas. So if we're gonna talk boxing, let's talk all boxing in a whole. And if we look at the most accomplished boxer, we're looking at Terrence Crawford. When we're looking at who has been on the pound for pound list for the most in the longest time, we talking Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford being a pound for pound fighter since Floyd Mayweather and Andre Ward was fighting. So hold up, I see you, Mike. I see you. I'm just stating my case. I got him up. So, meanwhile, Crawford was one of the most ducked fighters at welterweight. He was the only one of the main fighters that was calling out everybody at welterweight. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wanted to fight him. Keith Thurman don't want to fight nobody. Every time he was supposed to fight Errol Spence, he got injured. So we already know that's smoke.
We'll give you that.
He ain't about it.
Facts.
He ain't about it. So my thing is with Errol is I did at one point in time think he didn't want to fight Terrence because of the antics he was putting on. But recently I'm like, okay, if that's all you wanted to do was get all the belts and then fight Terrence, why you just didn't say that shit? I'm not mad at you.
He said that for years, man. He said it for years, brother. Go back. Hold on a second.
Why did you say this shit about the across the street shit? What's the across the street shit for?
What you say? You the Boom Man, right?
They don't got that no more. He's knocking at the door.
Hold up a second. They call you the Boom Man, right?
I said now he knocking at. What I'm saying is,
okay.
Now he knocking.
Came in yet?
Boom Man. I'm sorry, brother. I like everything you were saying, but I gotta correct you on one thing though. Errol Spence kind of did say for a long time that he was gonna win all the belts and then face it. I mean, it's kind of on tape after the Sean Porter fight, and just it's been out there for years, brother. You might have missed it.
No, I didn't miss it.
Okay, well you won't miss it.
I didn't miss that.
Let me see those.
Well, listen.
No. I didn't miss that. No, go ahead, Mike.
All right.
What's Crawford done at 147 that's worth anything compared to Earl? All his accomplishments are at another division. It don't matter no more. He's at 147 now, and he needs to take all the belts there if he wants to go with that.
Now don't talk about 140.
You're fighting at 140, 135. Yeah,
no.
I can give it a Bud.
No. Bud, my man, but he didn't fight nobody at 140. We ain't even gonna talk about that division.
By far, Fosto was the best guy at 140.
Posto was a killer when he fought him. Nobody want to fight Victor Posto.
Everybody at PBC ducked him, so he was a killer at 140. So I'm gonna give him that.
Now people wanted to fight him because Lucas Matisse fought him.
But
so he did get a point.
I ain't saying why. I'm just saying that nobody want to fight him. That's all I'm saying. I ain't saying why.
Yes. Okay, but all the Crawford
fans.
Well, listen. First of all, wait.
They kept saying that.
Okay. So, Boom Man, do you want to come back next week in the Verzuz to compete against somebody in debating? on exactly what you're doing right now because I like your energy, man. You're standing behind what you're saying.
It's only one boom, man, and I'm sure some people on the panel know who I am for real. So you already know what's up. But yeah, I don't have no problem with it. I don't like. Now, don't get me wrong. I believe, and I'm gonna say this. I believe Errol Spence is one of the best fighters in this generation. Let's be clear. Okay, I don't take nothing away from Errol Spence as a fighter. Okay, I am personally a fighter myself and a boxing trainer and a Muay Thai trainer. So I know what I'm looking at when I'm looking at these fighters. But I do see holes in Errol Spence's game where I know Terrence Crawford will catch him. And I know Terrence Crawford is a puncher. And I know Errol Spence came forth and admitted that he's not the most powerful puncher. He's more like the Tim Duncan. He's going to wear you down with the accumulation of punches. Yep. But Crawford is a more puncher of the two. He's the more skilled fighter of the two because all Errol Spence know how to do is come forward and wing and ding. He likes to wear you down with punches. And where Terrence Crawford is going to catch him is in between shots. The same way Jermell Charlo may beat Castano is by catching him in between shots because Castano get wild and get loose.
Well, let me ask you a question, brother.
You got the assessment wrong, brother. He's more than just a puncher.
All right,
wait. Hey, can I ask Boom Man a question? Can I? Okay. It's not about Spence or anything. He said he's a trainer.
Okay, so we're gonna go Julius, checkmate, Mike, Michael A, and then Mike Knight. So we're gonna go around the panel.
Now, Boom Man, this is a question in regards to your training. Okay. Yes. Now you say you are a boxing trainer, right?
Yes, sir.
I ain't going into Muay Thai. Boxing trainer, right? Okay. So you telling me that basic fundamental boxing, and it's a game of inches, right? So you can be diverse in being a boxer by moving forward and doing a little step here and there. You can't tell me that it's not anything exciting or spectacular about a guy being able to come forward with the jab, the fundamentals, move his head, don't get hit, and beat you up to the body and render you helpless. Now, one thing we do know about Errol Spence, it's been about 4 or 5 boxers that he fought that all had left the ring with a broken orbital bone. And the only reason I bring that up is because he don't do it off of overhand lefts or right hooks. He do it with the jab. Even a boxing trainer like yourself got to admit that that is something that you can't just teach at home. That's God-given talent there.
I will say that Errol Spence is a talented fighter with what he's able to do. He does have basic fundamental skills. I don't take that from him. What I'm saying is I see the holes in his game because me as a trainer, I'm not going to look at everything you do good. I'm going to look at everything you do bad. And that goes for every fighter, Crawford too. Because when Crawford starts to get in trouble when he's orthodox, he instantly switches to southpaw because he's right-handed. So his jab is his power hand. So he has to keep you at bay with that power hand because he can't keep you at bay with his left when he's jabbing with the left versus jabbing with his right. So
and another thing, he falls in. That's his issue in this fight. Is that when he come forward, he falls in with his head in the air. Now, I ain't going to hold that against Terrence Crawford because he's only trained by Bomac. So my thing is this. Bomac, if it come down to, and this is my last thing I'm going to leave you with, brother, because you're a trainer. So I'm going to see as a Crawford fan as you're going to admit this. If the fight is close and it come down to instructions from the corner, my feelings is if Crawford has to listen to Bomac, he's going to leave the ring crying or upset because he lost. And if it come down to it, that Derek James is just a better all-around trainer than Bomac.
I don't know what you just said. Say that again.
I said that if it comes down to, if the fight comes down to the trainers, meaning instructions from the trainer, Terrence Crawford got Bomac. So some things that Terrence Crawford do, they teach you this the first 2 days you get into a boxing ring, fighting with your head straight up in the air. Bud Crawford does that. And I'm saying that's because of bad trainers, that Bud Crawford is winning his fights in spite of the people in his corner. with the exception, Spence learned everything he know in a boxing ring from
But you
Derek
see,
James.
this is why I cannot have you debating for Crawford, because look at where you just like.
But that's just but that's more against Bomac than it is against Crawford.
No, because the debate is going to be.
I got you, but I want to see what Boom Man say about that.
Everybody's saying Bo Mac, and he was like, "Nah, Big Mac."
Yeah.
Big Mac, I'm a Big Mac.
What do you have to ask the Boon Man?
Yeah, I want to hear what Checkmate got to say. He has some.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, check.
No, the Boom Man was talking about his accolades. He was the most had the most accolades. Well, you're talking about somebody what he did in 135, 140, and so forth. No one he fought really is memorable. No one he fought at 135 or 140. They're not going to the Hall of Fame. You don't even remember who they are. And who did he in his run for undisputed and Dongo? Nobody he actually beat for the run undisputed is around today that you even know about. You don't talk about those things. So that, to me, that kind of like when we talk about his accolades, again, I think he's a great fighter. I think he's a very crafty fighter. Obviously, the styles make fights, and that's where, again, when it comes to Spence versus Bud, one thing that is certain is Bud does not have that high output. You know what I mean? When it comes to Spence, he is a workman. He is a robot. He's going to break you down. You said Bud's a puncher, but Spence is not. Well, Spence got 22 knockouts in 28 fights. That tells me he is a knockout artist. Okay, it's not. He doesn't have to be a one puncher just because the way he's going to break the body down. But is he breaking orbital bones and doing all of this? And even Sean Porter said himself that Spence hurt him worse. He was hurt worse from Spence than he was from Bud. Now, that was a very tactical fight with Sean Porter, and I actually had Sean Porter ahead. So when it comes to
but
Spence
his dad.
Well, let me dismount.
His dad actually stopped that fight.
Okay, I know.
What's about to happen.
I got you.
Just saying.
I got you. But my thing is this. Well, my thing is, like Spence, Bud has never had anybody with Spence's work rate. Bud has never had anybody facing anybody as strong as Spence. Bud has never did that. Usually he fights at a very economical pace. He's not, I'm telling you, his body is his core, the way he's built, he's not strong enough to deal with that.
All right, so what do you have to say? What do you have to say about what the Checkmate just
so for one, I was speaking on what Errol Spence stated via Fight Hub TV. Shout out Fight Hub TV. He stated that he's not the most powerful puncher. Those are not my words. I just want to be clear about that. He said he's more of the Tim Duncan type of fighter. You know, he might not get you with deep threats. He would just break you down as the game goes on. This is Errol's words. This is what he's saying. And I'm not. And what's wrong with being Tim Duncan?
Fundamentals.
What's wrong with being Tim Duncan? You fundamentally sound.
Absolutely.
I got Tim Duncan in my top 3.
Hall of Fame.
Right. Ain't nothing wrong with saying. Ain't nothing wrong with comparing yourself to Tim Duncan. Okay. So I'm saying it as a compliment. So, but what I'm saying is, and to be fair, who do you believe? And this is a rhetorical question. You can answer after I finish. Who do you think got the better chin, or who could take Errol Spence more, Mikey Garcia or Terrence Crawford? Because Mikey Garcia took over. Let me finish. Mikey Garcia took over 1,000 punches from Errol Spence and stood the test of taking over 1,000 fucking punches from Errol Spence. And I'm here to tell you right here, right now, Errol Spence output will not be that high, and he will not have that high of an output against Terrence Crawford, because he has to worry about Terrence Crawford punching back, catching him in between shots, because Terrence Crawford can punch. No matter what anybody says, he's still knocked out every welterweight that he's been in the ring with. You cannot discredit that, regardless if you don't like the opponents per se. He's still stopped every welterweight he's been in there with. No one has stood the test of Crawford. Okay, you say about Sean Porter, and Sean Porter said that Errol Spence hurt him the most. Well, guess what? Sean Porter was stopped. He didn't go 12 with Crawford. So that gets eliminated with that right there. So I'm not knocking your points about Errol, but I'm saying that there are holes in Errol Spence's game that Terrence Crawford is going to expose. And we're going to see a lot of holes in his game. This man's face was beat up in black and blue fighting Sean Porter. Sean Porter is not an accurate puncher. Terrence Crawford is. So if you're black and blue after fighting Sean Porter, what do you think an accurate puncher, strong power puncher in Terrence Crawford will do?
Okay.
How about that Kell Brook fight? I want to ask that. Hold on 1 second, checkmate. Can you answer me why?
No, wait, hold on.
Hold up. Here you go. 1 second, checkmate.
Wait, this gavel means what does gavel mean? So, Mike, since it's your turn, go ahead and answer that, and then say what you got to say, sir.
Yeah. So I want to rebuttal when you talk about that Mikey Garcia, because Earl made this clear in his press conference that he did not come into shape, that he had to cut a lot of weight, and he lost a lot of power at those end of those rounds. We seen just recently, right? We got to go off what just happened. That man is in tip-top shape. He said it himself. He doesn't have to cut weight by going into the sauna anymore. And so that old Earl is gone. That's when Bud had his best chance to beat Spence. You know, now that man's dedicated. He's living in the country. He's living boxing now like he should. All right. Second, I want for checkmate. Postol is still good. He almost beat Ramirez not too long ago, and so that's why I give a lot of credit for Crawford at 140 for Postol. And then another thing, like I say, the competition that Crawford's been fighting. Who hasn't knocked those guys out that he fought? You know what I mean? Sean Porter was basically retired before the fight. Everybody knew something was wrong. I think we were in the chat, and someone's like, "Man, this guy must be retiring. Why did he fight like that?" Sure enough, he announces his retirement. Like that dude checked out before the fight even there.
Come on, we're not gonna do
right,
that.
right.
He was about to retire.
Okay,
The reason why he got.
But let me. Y'all gotta let me read. Y'all gotta let me rebut. He asked me some questions. Y'all gotta let me.
Yeah, it's for checkmate. Checkmate. I'll let you
Y'all messing my momentum up. Y'all messing up my momentum.
Yeah, no, that's my turn though.
I'll let your boy.
And that's another thing, Blue Man. What
I know,
but give all the advice to Crawford in the corner. Let's say you're Crawford's trainer and you tell him, hey, you do this, you do that. He still got to listen to you. Because I know once Crawford gets knocked, he gets all emotional. He starts swinging like crazy, trying to get payback right away. We've seen what happens.
All right.
You seen the
Michael, let me.
Yeah, let checkmate. How let your boy.
Y'all mess up my momentum when I'm going, and so listen. This is the thing.
I want to give everybody a chance, though.
I know, but he asked me questions. Not Nayka. He asked me questions. I should be able,
I did.
So
I run the show. Go ahead, checkmate. Go ahead.
All right, so you listen. So you brought up again. You mentioned the Mikey Garcia and then the fact that he threw 1,082 punches, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh, he purposely said, "I'm going to outbox the boxer," just like he outdogged the dog in Sean Porter. Okay, so when you have a big, strong welterweight like that throwing 1,082 punches, strategically doing his thing, that was his thing, in and out game. You never expected Earl Spence to be that dynamic. The only thing you expected him to do was go forward and break you down. He outboxed him perfectly, did angles and so forth. So that's one thing. He didn't try to go for the knockout. He specifically said, "I want to outbox the boxer." Since Sugar Ray Leonard, since George Foreman, since all of these guys, all these professionals said that he was going to outbox me, this is what I aim to do. Okay, and then when you're talking about damn point.
No, Earl tried to say he tried to knock him out, so that's not true. Earl tried to say he tried to knock him out.
Well, he said his goal was to outbox the boxer, and that's exactly what he did.
But in the
I had another point.
I tried to knock him out. He said he tried to knock him out, but he didn't have it in him.
Okay, but he said my goal was to outbox the boxer. That was the game plan going in. He didn't fight Sean Porter like that, right? He fought Sean Porter style. When he fought Mikey Garcia, he fight Mikey Garcia. Who knocked Mikey Garcia out? Who actually put Mikey Garcia down? Nobody.
Only one person. Juan Carlos Delgado.
Okay, but you're talking about a guy who was 39-0 with 30 KOs. They had him number 5 pound for pound when he fought Spence, but people like to discredit that, and I don't like that because everyone want to give Loma all this credit for doing this, and he was 9-1 and number 1 pound for pound and fought trash. So my thing is this: when it comes to Bud and Earl, when you talk about the accomplishments and so forth, Earl has stopped 2 bona fide welterweight champions and guys. And Kell Brook and broke their eye sockets. So I would say again, when it comes to 147, that's all Earl has fought. Then obviously he fought the better competition at 147.
And he's breaking eye sockets
because Bud has only had 5 fights at 147.
And I want to check in on this right here real fast. I ain't gonna take up a lot of time. I want to tell you one thing that, even though as a Bud fan, this right here got me kind of like, man, I don't like this. The Kell Brook fight Yeah, Bud Crawford knocked him out. And you was just talking about the way that Earl Spence's face looked against Sean Porter in a 12-round fight. If I ain't mistaken, Nayka, or checkmate whoever, if you go back, that I think that Bud knocked out Kell Brook in 4 rounds, 3 or 4 rounds. His eye was closed. And the reason Bud's eye was closed wasn't because of a headbutt. It was because of a jab. Of the most basic punch in the world. He couldn't get out of the way of it. And that's what all I'm going to talk is technical stuff. Technically sound is Earl Spence. He can win this fight by not trying to be nothing but basic. Tim Duncan will win this fight. That's all he got to be. Because you can't get around that. His eyes are closed.
Holla at your boy, Mike Nice. What to do with the phone?
It's your go, Mike. Nice.
Listen, man. Y'all made great points. But I'm gonna say it like this, man. Your best shot, y'all bring up the Mikey Garcia fight. Man, Earl was using that shit as a weight camp. Earl wasn't focused that fight. Earl back, man. Earl is back. Mikey Garcia, Sean Porter, that was not the best Earl Spence. Earl will fuck Sean Porter up right now. If I'm telling you, Earl is back. This ain't no fat
100. Everybody knows that. That's what.
Listen,
yeah, but
they was talking all that
fighters
shit.
Don't have to get back. They stay on track. They on it. They
was hold on, but we're not gonna do that, Nayka. When you come from
my bad.
When you build up a certain amount of success, things happen. Like Earl started living life, but now he's back. Earl's back. So I don't think nobody fucking with a focus Earl, and that's just my opinion. I don't think nobody could see him. I don't think nobody fucking with him. I think Focus Earl is the best fighter in the world.
You know what?
And it is what it is.
Sorry to interrupt you. But like my girl C Menzel is saying right here, is like someone tell me, pick a side season. Earl may be back, but Bud's always been there.
You're a hater. You're a hater, Crystal.
No, that's
I'm just joking with her. I like how she tells that to Clever. Clever's a big Team Spence, and he's always dissing Crawford.
I'm picking a side. I'm Team Earl. I'm throwing up the Jamaican flag. I'm gonna
ask a pound something.
Earl is back, but
when Errol and Mikey Garcia fight, I got to, because I did a video about it and I got shit for it. So I'm gonna ask the panel. I need y'all to be real niggas, real G's about it. Mm-hmm. When they announced Errol Spence versus Mikey Garcia, and y'all know Mikey Garcia at the time was a 135 pounder moving up 2 weight classes, y'all knew good and hell
one weight class.
It was a cash grab. No, it's 2.
135. He was a 35 pounder.
No, he had won the belt. Hold on a second, brother. Slow down.
WBC belt at 35. He
hold on a second, my good brother. Let me make this one point. He took the title away from Sergey Lipinets at 140.
At 140.
Yes, that's 1 weight class.
But he had the WBC belt at 135, and he vacated it because he was on his way.
Hold up a second, though, brother. You said he moved up 2 weight classes.
2 weight classes, yes.
All I said was he moved up 1 weight class because he had the title at 140. I didn't say where he started, because he started boxing at 126.
I should only have to bang this thing one time, okay? I want to say something. I just want to commend DT3, the Boom Man, for coming up here and actually debating all 4 of y'all.
I hope they come back. The Boom Man.
Real G, bro.
Yeah,
town business.
Sorry, taking all 4 y'all.
But it's all good, man. I like it, man. You know, it's all good. You guys is keeping some real good points, man, and it's fun. It's all fun and jokes here, man. But
and Mikey only fought Broner and Lipinets at 140, and like I say, Lipinets was been a kickboxer, so that, like I'm saying, it's a 2 division. It's literally 135. That's where he was at, and so
but either way though, he's okay. So if you're gonna say Crawford is small. If you go shit on Crawford for coming up from 140 and fighting Errol, why would you not shit on Mikey and he moved up? What, like, you know, when they announced Mikey Garcia versus Errol Spence, you thought Errol was gonna stop Mikey. You can't tell me you didn't think Errol wasn't gonna stop Mikey.
No, hell yeah, I bet
you
on the
know
Sabah.
why I never use the small argument, right? Because
Right.
even from when I box a little bit, it seemed like wrestlers have a different type of strength, and Bud is a wrestler, so that's why I never even use the small argument. I don't even use that because I think Bud is a strong fighter, to be honest. Like I think he's strong for 147. I just think Earl is, Earl is a beast. Right?
And another reason why, brother, I don't use small weight classes is because every great fighter that we talk about classes and beat bigger guys. Even in this era,
Shout
you
out
can
Sam
look
Langford.
at it. They
Shout out
all
Sam
moved
Langford.
up. Look at Canelo. We talk about Canelo.
Canelo
He
different.
started at 147.
Canelo different though. Canelo
Well,
different.
Crawford is different.
Canelo different.
Crawford is different. Mayweather was different. Pernell Whitaker was different. So everybody we talking about was different. Barrera was different. Eric Morales, Manny Pacquiao was different. There's been a lot of different guys.
Morales, he wasn't that damn different.
What are you talking about?
He
was hold on a second. You forgot he beat Manny Pacquiao, right?
I know who Morales is, but he wasn't
beat Manny Pacquiao, right?
He wasn't different like that. A lot of people beat Pacquiao. Pacquiao got 5 losses.
He beat Pacquiao before all those losses.
Got 8 losses.
He got like 5 like
He beat him before all those losses, though.
But even
still, off those losses.
To me, Pacquiao is the equivalent of an old school fighter that fought anybody, anytime.
So Eric Morales is not special, is what you're saying.
He's not special. He's a great fighter, but I wouldn't say he's special. I think Floyd Mayweather is special. Shakur Stevenson is special. Vasily Lomachenko is special. Alexander Usyk is
Eric
special.
Morales would have beat Vasily Lomachenko.
Not special.
Eric Morales would have beat Vasily Lomachenko. Brother,
I don't know about that, bro.
Lomachenko ain't special.
I want to ask Chinzilla, what do you have to add to this conversation? Because I added you up here. You have something to add to this conversation.
Oh, about
I remember you from the trolling group.
Manny Pacquiao and a lot of fighters. I was
remember I'm
from the Legion of Dudes. Remember me now?
Yeah,
I shaved my beard off.
The troller, that's the troll guy.
Yeah, I remember
All
the troll
right.
guy.
Oh, yeah.
I remember you.
All right.
So what do you have to add to this conversation?
Yeah, Manny Pacquiao, he's probably, I would say, like in the top 10 greatest boxers of like the modern generation.
I agree. He's in my top 10.
And do you not agree, Blue?
Like he's
I
up there.
agree. Of this modern generation, yes, I agree with that. I don't have him like of my, because when people say all time, I be like, bro, if you say all time, you got to go back to the late 1800s and move up. Like you say all time.
We don't talk about 18.
Bro, I'm sorry. That run that Pacquiao had in 2009, when he beat Ricky Hatton, Margarito, De La Hoya. Yeah, he was washing him. Like I feel that it's not a fighter like that, and I'm sorry. I think, and I hate to say, I think Mayweather was smart not to fight him at that time. I think
he knew. He knew.
He knew. Don't fuck with him. Not at that time.
He knew to wait to let Manny Pacquiao slow down.
Hold up a second.
When he was like Manny.
Floyd is older than Manny. So what are y'all talking about?
Hold on a second.
Hold
on. Checkmate. Let me ask a question.
What I'm saying is when Floyd saw that Manny wasn't the Manny he was when he fought the Juan Manuel Marquez the first 2 times. He was not that Manny when he fought Floyd. He was not that Manny.
Well, let me ask you a question, Mike. You said that that Manny Pacquiao went through that great run, right? And that Mayweather was not going to 09, right? Okay. Yeah. Now, people do know that Eric Morales beat Manny Pacquiao in 2005, right?
Knocked him out.
I'm just saying a guy that ain't special beat a guy on a special run, because when he beat Eric Morales was the last guy to beat Manny Pacquiao before he went on that run. Bro,
Morales is a special fighter.
Morales special.
He is special.
Special fighter.
That's like Francis Ngannou.
Right.
That dude's a fucking phenom.
And check this out. And no 147 fighter ever knocked Manny Pacquiao out, and Marquez knocked him out. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? So when you
another special
when you did
fight.
the Mikey, wait, when you did the Mikey Garcia comparison, you say, well, he came up. Well, guess what? Well, Mikey Garcia is he's more sturdier than Pacquiao. Mikey Garcia is built very compact. That's the reason why he's such a strong fighter. So people say, oh yeah, I expected the knockout, but he didn't. But again, same way, none of them ever knocked Pacquiao out as well.
Okay,
that weight class.
Okay, true story. When I made the video saying that I didn't say he will beat Errol. I said Mikey Garcia has the skills and the tools to beat Errol. Meaning he has the pop to keep Errol honest. He has the skill set to keep Errol honest. You know how much shit I got for saying that? I didn't say Mikey was gonna beat Errol. I said he has the skill set, he has the pop, he has the potential. And
I didn't think he had the potential, but I knew he had the potential to last 12 rounds because people forget.
What kind of fuckery is this?
Because people forget that Robert Garcia, his brother, was a world champion.
Yes,
so Mikey grew up in the gym. So Mikey knew how to fight bigger guys. He been doing it his whole life. He goes something else too, Mike. Hold up, and here goes something else too, Mike. Mikey Garcia didn't really have an amateur career like that. His whole entire career was basically in the gym. He only had like 30 amateur fights. So it lets you know this guy learned how to fight in a professional style early. And even though Mikey Garcia ain't nothing now, has he been knocked out since or before? The guy know how to survive. He wasn't engaging Earl. It ain't like he was doing what Ugas did. Ugas had heart. Ugas was trying to win by knockout. That's why he got knocked out.
Where was Ugas trying to win by knockout? Earl had that nigga gunshot the whole fight.
I agree with Jim.
So if he did that to Ugas, would you think he gonna do that to
Spence? And that's why I say it's hard for like people to say like, oh, this fighter, his power is not there. Like, no, like certain fighters just know how to survive when you get on a certain level.
Exactly.
Like they world champions. They know how to fucking survive.
Yes.
Like, if they don't want to get knocked out,
they won't.
Not gonna get knocked out. Like,
right.
They know how to do that shit. So
and also it's hard to say. It's hard to like cross fights. Like it's hard to say this guy beat that guy, so that guy gonna beat this guy. Because here's the thing. Here's a fact. Floyd Mayweather is considered one of the top 10, top 20 fighters of all time. The guy that gave him the most problems had 27 losses.
Right.
Emmanuel Burton, Emmanuel Augustus, either one. Yeah. He put hands on Floyd.
Madonna gave him some trouble.
Madonna, another fighter that Devin Alexander beat up. Devin Alexander beat him up a year before he gave Floyd that hard fight. So it's hard to say, oh, this guy can do this because that guy did that. It's cross fights don't work. It don't work really in no professional sport.
No.
Chinzilla, what are you
Jay, didn't Mayweather break his hands on that dude's head?
No. On who? Augustus? No.
Not
wrong fight.
No, who was the one that Mayweather was fighting that he broke his hands?
Carlos Hernandez. Carlos Hernandez.
Yeah.
He broke his hand, and that was considered the only knockdown of Mayweather's career. He broke his hand and he went down.
Yeah, he tested. Yeah.
Right. That was Carlos Hernandez. But Emmanuel Augustus was his hardest fight. The guy ended up his career over 20 losses. And not just that, but Nayka, here's another thing about a guy with 20 losses. If that guy was fighting today, he would be a world champion with 20 losses.
I don't know, bro. Not with 20 losses.
I think Castillo won. I think Castillo won was Floyd's hardest fight. Why? Because I actually think Floyd lost.
I agree. I think
he lost. I'm a huge Floyd fan, but I think he lost. Castillo won, not because Floyd was throwing. His Floyd. It was basically a war of attrition. Castillo just threw him and outlanded him.
But Floyd won the first 5 rounds in that fight on everybody's scorecard. I didn't see Floyd lose the last 7 rounds of that fight. I remember that fight too. I just don't.
Okay, Julia, but people say you talking about the scorecards. Look what we just seen with Amanda's
no,
Serrano. But I'm saying, you know, I'm a huge Floyd fan.
I thought Floyd eat
I'm a
that fight out.
fan. You know what I mean? The first win, I just thought he was overwhelmed. I thought Floyd, the more he had the higher percentage of landed punches, the higher percentage, but the fact of the matter is, Castillo threw more. And he was just overwhelmed.
Yeah, I think it was a close fight that could have went either way, but I thought Floyd won. As far as Serrano and Katie Taylor, that was a good fight. But I was flustered in that fight because a lot of people told me that Amanda Serrano was one of the greatest women fighter they ever seen fight before, but I didn't see her throw a jab. I seen them girls go in there and scrap, and it was a good scrap. But Serrano could have won the fight with a jab. She could have not only won the fight, she could have knocked Taylor out.
She was gunshot. Go ahead, check.
She should have had 2 10-8 rounds, first of all, because she had her own on her feet in back-to-back rounds. And so one judge did actually give it a 10-8 round. But one judge did it, but she should have had, to me, she should have had 2. But either way, like I said, if you saw those score cards, Serrano lost the fight before she even stepped in the ring.
Oh, definitely.
She was embracing in the moment too much. She was embracing in the moment too much. That was a great moment.
Judge was only giving her 2 rounds though. It was biased, like completely.
Hold on, but I agree with the booth man. I agree with the booth man. She was a little too happy in that moment. Like, man, forget that. Knock the girl out. Like, she was just
like Bivol right now.
Yeah, she was a little too festive about it. Like, oh, this is just a great moment. And now she lost the fight. She talking about money she gonna spend at the mall. Like, I don't like people. I don't like fighters temperament like that, man.
I think she let it go.
She was Jamel Charlo. She was Jamel Charlo versus Castano. She was Jamel Charlo versus Castano. The moment was too big for Jamel. He was overwhelmed. He never had that type of excitement around any of his fights, and he was drained. This fight, he gonna knock him.
I feel bad for Castano, man. I think Jamel gonna wash it.
Let me cook on the real quick, and then I'll holler about Castano because I felt that Castano won the first fight, but I do feel like Jamel is gonna stop him this fight because when I went back and I watched the fight, I was seeing where Jamel was having success at, and he was having a lot of success catching Castano in between punches. Every time he caught Castano with a shot that wobbled him, it was always when Castano was throwing shit, and he would catch him with that one good shot, bam, and then he'd be on Wobble Street. And what is the one freaking punch that Jamel Charlo throw that will be perfect in this fight that he's going to throw in the second fight? And he did it against who? Who did he do it against? Erickson Lubin.
Yeah. He good at hitting him behind the ear.
That uppercut is gonna kill Castano. It's gonna kill him. But that's what's gonna get him.
But let me tell you this though. He had
stay off them ropes.
Hey, you right. Hold up a second. I don't. Did Julius probably not like Mr. Haney? No, I got a problem with Mr. Haney, and I've said it before. And I'm not talking about Devin. I'm talking about the father. Hold on a second, Nayka. I got a roll on this. That guy. Excuse me to the people that's in the panel that is of Anglo-Saxon, race. Man, that dude be cooning out there, bro. I'm talking about Bill. Yeah, he was talking about beating up Leonard Ellaby over Leonard Ellaby and Eddie Hearn beef. And then he let his son sign a slave contract. Not only that, I got more. I hold on, brother. I got more on the brother. I gotta be honest. He has all this energy towards the black guys. If a black guy say something, he got the most energy in the world, like he ready to kill. White guys disrespect. They called his son boy at the press conference. The guy didn't even go. See, he was supposed to have been furious. He was supposed to start a brawl at the press conference. People are down with that anyway because it draws exposure to the fight. The guy was respectful and said nothing. Soon as a black guy questioned why he signed with Bob Arum, he cussed him out and want to fight. Nah, I ain't no Bill Haney guy, man. Nah,
First of all, he
not
got
at
himself
all.
a good deal. He done been getting his son the bag since who knows when.
Yeah,
Facts.
but at what cost?
As soon as
Black
he
folks
signed
ain't
with Top
supposed to
Rank,
coon, brother.
As soon as he got with Top Rank that made commercials with him already. They're gonna
Mike,
they're gonna treat him better than Lomachenko.
Mike, you're talking about boxing. I'm talking about the culture.
No,
you get what I'm saying?
I can't speak on your culture because
okay, all right then. So you can't speak on what I'm talking about because I'm talking about the culture.
You said bad contract. That has nothing to do with
Bill ain't came my way.
You know,
he ain't came my way. Bill knows what's up.
I feel like Bill represent a good black father.
I ain't no Tank fan, boy. I ain't said nothing about Tank. So Jimbo, go and climb back under the rock you came out of. I ain't said nothing about Tank.
Bill
I ain't said nothing about Tank.
I just said something negative about him before.
I said Bill Haney is cooning, and that's what I say. He cooning.
So all in all, this is gonna be a good debate. I was gonna say next week. I found a good competitor here in DT3. The Boom.
Real quick, one more thing, Nayka, real quick. Bud Crawford's getting knocked out. There you go.
You know what, Mike?
we gotta talk about. Listen, Nayka. Listen, Michael Mama. We gotta talk about Bob Arum saying that he don't want he don't want Shakur to go for undisputed. Right. I was livid. He remember he didn't even show up for the press conference. He left the stage because it's called MBF, no black fighter. Okay, he does not want Shakur to get the accolades that he tried to give Loma. He was trying to force Loma and push Loma through to get undisputed. He was trying to get Teo to get undisputed. He was he got the undisputed with Taylor, but all of a sudden we don't need that. Who's going to see those fights? It's not up to you what kind of draw. It's not up to you. When he did that, he broke the Muhammad Ali Act. Your fiduciary responsibility is that of a promoter, not a manager, not to choose the fight. You present the options. So if he wants to go for undisputed as a promoter, you got to do that. That is the Muhammad Ali Act, and he broke it. The dude didn't even at the press conference, no press conference, and then he left the press conference. No, it was a press conference. That was the first one. No, I'm talking about the initial press conference. Like you're supposed to have the weeks out, like a couple of months when you fight is announced. They never had that, right? They showed up whatever, but there was no press conference. And then at this press conference, Bob left the stage, and the announcer said, "Well, Bob loved both you guys." He didn't, and and Shakur said, "Well, he should have stood here with us. This is about business." The reason being is because first of all, Bob wanted Nevarete out there. Bob wanted a Mexican fighter so he can go ahead and get the Mexican dollars. He already said he don't know how to promote Black American fighters in the first place. He does not want to, have Shakur overshadow his artificially anointed. And this is the reason why he is disrespecting him and don't want him to go for undisputed. I'm telling you right now, that is egregious. And everybody,
it's just racism, brother.
The media,
it's just racism. Call it what it is.
Jose Ramirez, he didn't want him to go fight Hooker. He was going to get his biggest payday. And Bob Arum was against that fight. That was an Eddie Hearn situation. Basically, Ramirez and Rick were going to go the media type. Like, nah, man, this has to happen. And finally, Bob let him do it. But he was adamant that, he didn't want to let him go fight on his own. Let him go fight Hooker because he had some other plan with him. Basically, he was going to feed him to Crawford.
And also, Nayka, let me jump on this. Mr. Jimbo, I don't know who you are, bro. You don't know nothing about me, brother. You don't know nothing about me. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. And like I said, and I'm gonna say it again. And this is me. This is me right here. If Eddie Hearn and Leonard Ellaby had an issue as a Black American, I'm not gonna go and say to the black guy, "Hey, I'll murder you." That's what he said. He said, "We'll take it to the streets and I'll go do violence to you."
You read too far into it, bro.
And he let Eddie Hearn off the hook. Didn't say nothing to him. So I don't roll like that. It ain't got. And I said anything about PBC? I ain't said nothing about Tank Davis. That's you talking. You see what I'm saying? That's your perspective, not mine. I'm gonna keep it on Bill Haney. Bill Haney shouldn't have did that.
Jules, all the man said was, and you got to protect the money, man.
Man, come on, brother.
Leonard Ellerby said, "I will smack the shit out of
Eddie Hearn." Eddie Hearn,
because Eddie Hearn said he would fight him. People don't realize that was his response.
That was his response.
He can do a fight. I will fight you, and then that Leonard say, you know what I mean?
I ain't fighting in no ring.
I'll fight you, Leonard. You can train with Floyd, and Leonard said, "I'll smack the shit out if you come near me." He was supposed to say something like that because he's not playing no games.
Right.
So people getting out of that, out of line, out of that.
I like
Eddie
Leonard.
talking about he want to fight.
I ain't talking down on. I like Leonard. I ain't talking down on.
No, look, I know how it go, bro. Listen, I know how it is. It's a real sensitive thing when brothers got to call other brother coons, even though they look like they for the culture. So it's hard to say, hey, man, that dude is cooning. But I got to say it. And I know, Nayka, that we don't be going there like that, but I got to go there. The guy is cooning. He cooning. He cooning. I see Boxiana, you feel me? Bill Haney is cooning.
I know she's a Haney fan. I don't think she's gonna
he was cooning. I
don't think she's gonna agree with you there.
That's okay. He was cooning. But look, hold on. Devin Haney has nothing to do with what his father did. That has nothing to do with Devin Haney's boxing career. You can love Devin Haney as a boxer and as a person and still call his father out for what he did. A victim. Okay. Yes, Jimbo. That's what I am. I'm a victim of a race hustler. Yes, that's what I am. I get money off this. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Jimbo. Thank you, Jimbo. And PBC write me checks. Okay.
All right, so guys, I'm gonna wrap this up because my head, I'm so congested. It's not even funny. I was like, but I did get a good contestant.
Allergies, or did you get sick? Man,
I got sick because my mom and my sister came back from Greece and they were both sick, but they didn't have COVID. No, it's not COVID because they have to be tested before they get back.
Gotcha.
It's just a regular cold, but I got sinuses too, so like sinus pressure and everything. So, yeah.
This may sound stupid, but if you have sinus problems, get some horseradish and chew on that. That works.
Good luck for those Crawford fans. Good luck.
I'm pretty sure Jimbo, the race soldier, is more than likely a Crawford fan because he done said something about Al Heyman, which is what I told you, Nayka. I told you these guys. He said something about PBC. He said something about Tank Davis. He said something about Al Heyman. I guarantee you, he's rooting for Bud Crawford. Now ask him. Jimbo, who you rooting for?
Are you saying that like all coons and stuff like that are like?
No. I'm not saying that. I'm just telling you who the fan base is that will root for Bud Crawford. And if you look, it's not hating. It's the truth. It's the truth. That guy, I was talking to y'all about Devin Haney, and this guy done went on a PBC rant. And you ain't heard me say nothing about PBC.
No, you haven't.
See? And they saying Earl sexual, and I ain't said nothing about Earl.
All I want to see,
I
want to see either Shakur versus Loma or Devin versus Loma. I want to see those two fights.
Well, how about Devin versus Shakur?
I think Devin.
I want to see that too. Yeah.
I'm not ready for that fight. I think they could get a lot better. I'd rather see him at 27, 28 years old.
Devin ain't gonna be at 35 long, brothers.
Nah.
Well, no,
he's gonna be at 140.
He's gonna go to 140, but Shakur's not gonna be at 130 long either. They're gonna be right behind each other. Listen, and Mikey can go up to.
Shakur looked big on Saturday. He did look big. Man.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right, so I'm gonna try to scout some more Crawford fans.
Good luck.
I think I found
Get Jimbo.
But if not, I already have four so far that are like going with anybody. So I think I should.
Hey, go on, get your boy Jimbo up there. He ready.
You might even have to search Facebook or something like that for them.
Yeah, on the Facebook group. Yeah. Man. So thanks guys for coming on.
All right, my man. Take care.
See y'all.
Mike, hit me up on Twitter, Mike.
Salute.
At Julius Streeter. Hit me up. All right, Michael.
All right. Have a good night, y'all.